have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council, and without you. have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you. Stay here any longer. Not now. I have to sort this out on my own. Without the council. And without you.
Hello and welcome to Dyad in the Forest. We are really excited for our spoopy episode. We got some really cool stuff, where we're going over some ghosts of Vader's castle. Also, you guys didn't want us to talk about Lego Terrifying Tales last week. So we're going deep into it this week. We had a bunch of awesome books announced that I'm super excited to talk about, and we have some amazing guests to talk about them all with, as well as some QA from you guys. So happy to hang out, excited to talk right now on Diet in the Forest.
Unseen for generations, a Diet in the Forest.
Hello. I have to fix something really quickly, so Choco, why don't you engage?
Yes, hello, and welcome again. Like I just said, we have a exciting show. We are fixing some audio stuff related to one of our guests, but we can still check in with the other for now. How are you doing today, Haley?
I'm doing pretty well. Just got off work, so I was happy to make it in time. So
awesome. Love it. Love to have you on basically anytime. Can you tell the good people where to find you and your awesome content?
absolutely. I am on TikTok at Corellia Coffee Works, and I am also on Instagram with the same name. Yeah.
Awesome. And how are we looking, Pep?
We're looking good, which means, Vanessa, this will be the test for your audio at least. If you can introduce yourself to everyone watching.
Hello, I'm Vanessa. I go on TikTok and Instagram by Vanessa Scac, Vanessa SCAC. I do some fine art, Star Wars, Marvel content on there. I'm looking to get back into it sometime soon. I recently painted Hayden Christensen, so that was my push to do it again.
I haven't unfortunately been keeping up with all of that. I mean, how frequently do you post? Because the last one that I saw from you was the Wanda painting.
I haven't posted, I think, since March, May. I don't remember exactly when, but I'm planning. I wasn't planning on like doing content with the Hayden painting. I'm meeting him tomorrow at Comic-Con, so I wanted to like give him that and be like, I appreciate you so much. Here's this painting.
Well, give us
But
a scoop
we'll
on
see.
that. What do you plan to do?
I
What are the
will.
plans?
I will. I don't know. Aside from like crying, I'm supposed to meet him at like 11 a.m. and then there's an autograph signing around like 1:50ish. But I'm also planning on going to see Charles Soule earlier in the day and get my Light of the Jedi book signed.
Nice.
Because
That's awesome.
I hold that book very close to my heart. It came out during like a rough time and was like a great introduction to the High Republic. So I'm excited for tomorrow. And I'm excited for this podcast.
I'm excited for you. I mean,
Thank
Hayden
you.
Christensen, Charles Soule. Is anybody else going to be
Yeah.
there of note?
D. Bradley Baker.
Are you not going to get his sign?
Well, I asked my brother. Okay, I love D. Bradley Baker, but my brother, even though he's 13, he's much more like frugal with money.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be like, "Oh, like we don't need to get that, like unless you're like dying to get it." I'm like, "Oh, like let's do it." He's like, "No." So I was holding back with that one. I was trying to get him to do it with me, but he's like, "No."
Oh. Haley, what about you? And anything happening in your life that's worth noting?
Oh, not really, but I do have some Hayden Cringe. Are you going to Comic-Con tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
I booked tickets to my city's Comic-Con, and then like a couple weeks later, got a message saying that Hayden Christensen was going to be there, and I was like, great, amazing. And of course, it was not the day I bought.
Oh,
So I have never bought another ticket faster. I was like, guess I have to go for multiple days because I am not going to miss out on Hayden Christensen.
I feel left out. but it's not your guys' fault or anything. It's like people are meeting up at Galaxy's Edge. They're meeting actors and like Comic-Cons, and I'm just like, do you guys want to learn more about Star Wars?
I mean,
It's
just hold
okay.
out for
Soon.
celebration and
Absolutely.
And
that'll be a big
hopefully,
thing.
I'll get to meet a bunch of people at San Diego Comic-Con, the little extra one that they're doing in November this year.
Yeah. What's the ticket situation there? They're like.
I am not going to be able to get my usual tickets for 8 people. So,
Tickets for 8 people. Wait, what?
oh, I work for Comic-Con every year.
Gotcha.
So I'll be working there this
I
year.
don't-
as
Okay.
well.
I was like, I don't recall you having 8 people like in your family. I was like, oh.
Me and 8 other Force ghosts. Let's
It'll be Pep and the Knights of Ren.
yes.
Yes.
Let's say hello to the chat. Everyone in the chat. We have Darthman86 Sokka, but my profile picture is Italian General Grievous. Harith Productions. Haley's in there. Corellia Coffee Works. Harith. St. Pat. Shout out to St. Pat who's doing the art for Echoes of the Past. This next chapter, even though I've already pre-published it on Wattpad, it's still in production and the art is looking insane. So stay tuned for the audio drama version of Chapter 3. That's going to be a doozy. Brooke says, hello. Star Wars Lawyer says, hello, what have we here? Choco, do you want to do your
didn't say
best?
that right.
I know. Let's do it.
Hello. No, that was terrible. What have we here? You really belong with us up in the sky. Stars. Damn it. Whatever.
Well,
There's a reason I don't do voices, okay?
and then we have Ace Bronx. Brooke also says, in addition to hello there, Vanessa, Haley, my queens. A lot of people going crazy over Vanessa and Haley. I've made the right choice. And then Julia Christine says, these 2 new Obi-Wan books have me hype, especially Padawan, which has officially killed Obi was 15 on Mandalore. Hashtag Quirky Kenobi lives. Yes, we will talk about those books shortly here in a moment.
Can I just say how I was instantly like worried for Julia as soon as there was like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to read this. Oh, what's Julia gonna do? Like, that's
worried for Julia perpetually. And then Julia says, Pep, you live in Southern California, just go to Galaxy's Edge. I mean, I could, but like, I don't have anybody to go with. I'd rather go.
We're gonna go.
Yes.
All right. Me and Pep are gonna go. We're gonna bring on Kier, Amanda Calorian, and we're gonna bring some people. I got some people to reach out to.
Right on. And then we'll have like a pre-celebration ramen party here for everyone that's invited. You're definitely invited if you've transferred credits into the ramen vault during Diet in the Force. But we're definitely excited to share a bowl of ramen with everyone, especially Star Wars Lawyer, who has not yet had ramen before. So that's going to be incredible. Yeah, Haley.
How have you not had ramen before?
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
It is. I mean, like, of course you have like your instant ramen, but I guess they haven't had the true ramen. Well, it's not going to be true until you go to Japan, but like closest thing.
Closest you can get.
Yeah.
St. Pat, you're in SoCal? How did I not know this?
Goodness.
St. Pat also did my logo design. Awesome dude. We appreciate you. Yeah, where are you in SoCal? You know, we'll definitely have to hit that up. Also Chris from Dark Side Divas, big, you know, they came on my Galaxy's Edge episode, and they have all the secrets and the details. So yeah, we'll be bringing them along.
So I just wanted to get your guys' feedback. I don't know if you saw my latest video on stitching the prompt. If you can design the next Galaxy's Edge ride, what would it be? And I kind of want to pass this off to you guys for just like a quick, like a rapid fire. But I mean, I'll of course go first just to make it a little bit easier. But I proposed to replace the Savi's Workshop with the Gathering, which would put people based on, you know, what they chose in a preliminary survey in the caves of Ilum with a whole bunch of kyber crystals, and it's like an escape room scenario where you would solve puzzles and riddles, and upon escaping you found your kyber crystal, and then you would be taken to the Crucible with Professor Hu Yang, where you would have AR or MR stations where you could see all of the parts and you would choose them, and then you would do this, and then your lightsaber would construct like you're using the Force.
I'm picturing like the Iron Man scene where he's like building stuff in the air. Like, yeah. No,
That'd be
like
dope.
that.
Of course, you would end the experience with a receipt and a barcode to pick up your actual lightsaber. But I've always wanted to do that experience, like build with the Force. What about you guys? The first person that has an idea of the next ride at Galaxy's Edge, go for it.
I have been meaning to make a video on this because I haven't seen yours yet because I've been at work all day, but I really want, I don't even know the name of the ride, but the one in Epcot that you just kind of ride around, look at all the plants. I want that, but Star Wars, like Living with the Land, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want like a really mellow, like, let's learn about the different planets of Star Wars. Because I don't think we get a lot of that. Like, I think a lot of people see the movies and they're like, that's super cool, like costumes and armor. But I think it would be really cool to bring in a ride that would like touch on the intricacies of the planet in a really subtle way, like growing different plants or like, I don't know, the terrains of different planets.
Yeah, you legitimately just blew my mind because we could have Valo. It could be just like
Republic Fair ride.
The Republic Fair and
with the
all the
floating
islands,
platforms.
and we can go get meat fruit or whatever.
Well,
and then like in order, and then like it, because so many people would want to hang out there, it could be timed, and at the end of the time, the Nile attack, and you have to flee.
Oh god.
Oh,
All of a sudden, smoke and wreck punk music starts blasting, and you're like, "Oh, you gotta go!"
Well, you equally blew my mind because, like, I was thinking, hey, we can do like a Lorsan Tech Zillengraph type of hyperspace prospector ride where you would go through the lanes and visit different planets. But I like the Republic Fair. It's closer to what Haley proposed. You would have like different biomes and different domes that you could visit. It's kind of like a Star Wars Jurassic Park almost. Ooh.
We spend
So
no
into that.
expense.
Imagine instead of the Nile, like a rag scythe, like it gets loose. Vanessa, what about you?
When I was younger, I loved playing Clone Wars Adventures, and they had all these like mini games. But my favorite one was the speeder bike game, and I got so good at it. I got first place like every single time. I had all these like people, because you can chat with people before you play, I think, and they would like trash talk me, and they'd be like, "Oh, like you're not gonna win, like you're whatever." I was like, "Oh, okay, like we'll see," and I would always beat them. And so I think having like I know it's kind of similar to what is that Avatar? What Flight of Passage? But like a VR speeder bike scenario going through like Coruscant or something. Maybe you're like a bounty hunter or just doing a speeder bike race. I don't know. Or on Mon Espa, could do speeder bike race there and be like Anakin. It's working.
That's actually really cool. I mean, you're on the same wavelength as a lot of people here. We have St. Pat who says we need a speeder bike roller coaster. Shout out to Nerd Connor in the chat. Thank you for tuning in. We always appreciate you stopping by. Julia Christine says, I don't think you can replace something you haven't been to yet. Listen, I know that like the gathering and building my lightsaber with an augmented reality force would be well. Okay, I'll have to experience Savi's first, but that is my idea still. And then we have Jesse in the chat. Hello, Jesse. Thanks for tuning in. Vanessa. Oh my gosh. Hi.
I saw that.
Would you like to respond personally?
I said hello, Jesse, in the chat.
And then we have Darthman86 who says helmet creation, where you would I did see your TikTok on that, where you would design like your own helmet, like a stormtrooper helmet, Mandalorian helmet, stuff like that. I think that would be really cool too. Something very personal to take with you. What about you, Choco?
Yeah. So what I would do is something akin to the Indiana Jones ride. But this would be Tyork's Monster Hunter ride. And you get 3D glasses on it. And so you hop on the ride, and attached to your hover vehicle, which it's still going to be bumpy even though it's a hover vehicle. Don't ask me why. But you'll be going through like a jungle, hunting monsters. That like there's a big monster at the top. We haven't gotten to the end of the monster at Temple Peak, so I can't truly say that. But attached to it is 2 items: a blaster and a lightsaber, because we know she uses both. And you're going to be, they'll just have a story along with it, where maybe like you have one of the kids with you and you're trying to keep them safe as you go through this trek. You'll run into some mercenaries or some, whatever. You got to block bolts with your lightsaber. You got to slash through vines. You got to fight Drengir, and whoever. You have your trusty blaster also for protection. And also then get kind of they can get cool or interesting with spot. This opens up. If you don't hit it, then you end up going a different route. So depending on it, you have different playthroughs each time. And I don't know. I see a lot of possibility. I want this. I need this.
Future
Legend of the
Imagineer,
Hidden
Darth
Temple.
Choco.
Let's see here with the chat again. Cal4, thank you for tuning in. I am here. Sorry for being late. Also, Vanessa, Red Heart, lots of love for our guests all around. And let's see. Julia Christine is obsessed with Living with the Land, but Star Wars. And she also asks, are we staying with the canon timeline or no? Because Batu does exist in a particular place and time. It does. I'm not concerned with canonicity for this particular question. I think the Gathering ride, of course, would be like a period piece in Galaxy's Edge that is, it could be the High Republic times, because I'm pretty sure there's still, he for 1,000 generations he was helping Padawans build their lightsabers, so it could be any time period.
The entryway to it is a big ancient book, and as you walk in, you hear Rey talk about like reading from the book, like, oh, this is the story of how the younglings used to get their crystals, and then boom, now you can transport to any time period.
Yeah, it sounds. Oh man, just like I think Choco and I would just be like co-designers on a lot of things that just like kind of fill in the gaps.
We're trying to get there. Trying to get there. I'm also trying to hurry up on some books to try and get them published, even though they'll probably be trash for now. But I just want stuff out there so that Lucasfilm notice me, senpai.
I mean, yeah, that's why I'm self-publishing right now on Wattpad. I'm just like, even though it's ongoing and it's, I'm still writing them, it's good to have it out there and have people give you feedback and kind of help them shape your story. And Cal4 says, always a good time when Haley's on with you guys. Grinning face.
My heart.
Yeah. Speaking of Cal, excellent streamer. Check out his stream when he goes live on Twitch. Good times.
Yeah, and I also want to suggest to you guys as well, if you're at all interested, it's not a very like heavy on the graphics game. It's called Phasmophobia. Cal4 is streaming it for Spooptober. You're a ghost hunter, and you go in with like your tools, your EMF meters and your microphones and stuff like that, and you gather evidence and try to find the ghost, all while the ghost is haunting you and creating a terrifying atmosphere. And it's a 4-player co-op, so if you guys, I know Choco does not participate in the horror. He doesn't horror. Choco doesn't horror. So if you guys are interested in any way, shape, or form joining us in those games, let us know. So yeah, let's move on to our first segment of the show, which is the announcement of the new canon books. I believe it was a couple of days ago. It was on October 7th, so 2 days ago. And let's start from the top. We have Shadow of the Sith by Adam Christopher. This one's going to be released June 28th next year, and it goes as follows. The Empire is dead, nearly 2 decades on from the Battle of Endor. The tattered remnants of Palpatine's forces have fled to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, but for the heroes of the New Republic, danger and loss are ever-present companions, even in this newly forged era of peace. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker is haunted by visions of the dark side, foretelling an ominous secret growing somewhere in the depths of space on a dead world called Exegol. The disturbance in the Force is undeniable, and Luke's worst fears are confirmed when his old friend Lando Calrissian comes to him with reports of a new Sith menace. After his daughter was stolen from his arms, Lando searched the stars for any trace of his lost child, but every new rumor only led to dead ends and fading hopes. I like that. Fading hopes. Until he crossed paths with Ochi of Bastoon, a Sith assassin tasked with kidnapping a young girl, which is assumed to be Rey. Ochi's true motives remain shrouded to Luke and Lando, for on a junkyard moon, a mysterious envoy of the Sith Eternal has bequeathed a sacred blade to the assassin, promising that it will give him answers to the questions that have haunted him since the Empire fell. In exchange, he must complete a final mission, return to Exegol with the key to the Sith's glorious rebirth, the granddaughter of Darth Sidious himself, Rey. As Ochi hunts Rey and her parents to the edge of the galaxy, Luke and Lando race into the mystery of the Sith's lingering shadow and aid a young family running for their lives. Thoughts? Go.
So I did not read the little blurb before coming on. Had no idea what it was going to be about, and I am so excited. I was not expecting it to be like a during the sequels kind of story, and I just think the entire story would be so much benefited by more books from that era.
Yeah.
And so I am so excited that they're actually diving into Luke and Lando. Like, that's an incredible matchup.
And it makes sense too, because, you know, if you watch, or if you remember in Rise of Skywalker, the way she finds out about the Wayfinder is that it's already in his journals. It's already in his book about, you know, him searching for Exegol. So this is also making a lot of people angry, but we'll touch on that after we get Vanessa's and Choco's thoughts. But Vanessa, what about you on this book?
I think this book is one of the ones I'm most excited for. I really am excited for more sequels content, and I'm curious to see if they will continue. I don't know if it's my theory or if it is confirmed that Jaina from The Rise of Skywalker is Lando's daughter, because he's like, let's find out where you're from. No, I'm not gonna. No, that was not an impression. We're gonna ignore that.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. It was better than mine.
But
no, I don't think it was confirmed.
Yeah.
It's not confirmed.
Yeah, I don't think it was confirmed, but the fact that I was like, oh, that's cute. Or it makes the moment, even if she is not his daughter, it makes the moment more meaningful. He knows how it is for family to be ripped apart by the First Order. So yeah, I'm excited for Lando, like more Lando content in general as well. He's just so like charismatic and fun, and I feel like, I guess my headcanon is that like Luke is more innocent than Lando, and like we'd get some good humor in it as well as action sequences. Yeah.
And I feel like we got like a lot of Han and Lando. We haven't seen all that much. Like I'm not a comic reader, so could have been, but like haven't seen all that much Luke and Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their interactions are primarily, you know, centered around the Rebel Alliance. Like, you know, Luke's in the room with Leia and the rest of the Rebel officers, and Lando's there too. So they don't have a lot of like buddy cop, I'm just gonna call them buddy cop adventures with each other, which is great because we would love to see that.
Oh man, this makes me so excited because, well, for one, they better drink some hot chocolate at some point in time. For in Legends, Lando introduces Luke to hot chocolate, and then Luke just drinks it throughout all of Legends. Like in almost every book, he's like drinking hot chocolate, like, oh damn. Like,
is it called hot chocolate?
No,
like
it's
Star Wars name.
It has a Star Wars name. I can't remember what it is right now, but I don't know. It just always makes me laugh because it's like extra innocent.
Choco.
We're gonna get some Luke in his prime, which I think is awesome. I can't wait to see more about that. And yeah, I mean, if you read the novelization for Rise of Skywalker, you find out about, you know, Lando's daughter going missing. It's one of the reasons why he stayed on Pisana. And I loved how at the end he's kind of resigned himself to help these lost children of the galaxy find their homes. These First Order stormtroopers that are left over, like where they're from and all this stuff. But to see the other side of that story, to see what got us there, where we got to Pisana. Like, I've been loving reading the Vader 2020 run and getting to see Ochi like be a bit of a badass at the beginning, and then realize, oh, yeah, Vader's not one to mess with. I'll serve you, and just getting more of that story. I don't know. I can't wait. I can't wait. I love. The reason I got into reading is because I loved how these things connected with the media and explain more stuff. And yeah, the more of those connections we get, the better.
You know, I know you're reading Vader 2020, Vanessa. What about you, Haley? Are you reading any comics?
I don't read any comics.
Okay, so Vader is being tested by Palpatine, and he drops him off on Mustafar, and along with him, Ochi from the movies. And this guy's a funny dude. He's like, oh, you're not prepared for me, and then Vader like whomps him, and then he's like, oh, I'll be your servant. Just as Choco described, and it's interesting to think about a story outside of this, or this would be after Vader 2020, before the sequels. I'm not sure what the time. He's already chasing Rey, and I'm assuming that like Rey as a child, because he's chasing down her parents and stuff, right? So
yeah, this is gonna be about 10 years before, right? So because the whole altercation with Ben happened roughly 6 years before The Force Awakens. So yeah, we got a 4 years before things pop off. But
Chris says the book happens in 21 ABY. Okay, so this means that Ochi has long forgotten, or I don't know if he's long forgotten Vader, but that's well past Vader. It'll be interesting to see how he handles Luke and Lando in this. And then of course it does mention that he is commissioning a dagger, or he gets the dagger from Palpatine, right? Is that what it says?
No, it says he gets it from somewhere. I don't believe he. So I think he's still uncovering the secret to find out that Palpatine's still alive. I don't think he knows yet, and this is what is going to send him down that path. I think it's probably a pretty closely guarded Sith secret, you know, by like Sith acolytes or worshippers or cultists and whatnot, and probably just members of that of, you know, people on Exegol that know what's up. So I could definitely see that, and I wonder if that's why we're getting more information in regards to the people who are like the caretakers of Vader's castle now, so that we can introduce them in the book as the people who are kind of guiding this thing forward.
Yeah, it does say, for on a junkyard moon, a mysterious envoy of the Sith Eternal. So a Sith Eternal envoy gives him the dagger, and I guess that's what puts him on the path to finding Exegol.
I can't remember. Did Yup Tashu die in Aftermath?
No, I think he's still around.
Because it could potentially be him or someone who comes after him. He was a really creepy Sith guy who was just like really spooky. he was gross. I hate him.
I do have to ask, as kind of like a transitional, what books are you guys currently reading, if any?
I forgot the name of it. Oh my gosh. I'm re-listening to one of the High Republic. I just started From a Certain Point of View, and I just finished for the second time The Rising Storm.
Gotcha.
Nice. Which From a Certain Point of View?
This was. I got the Empire Strikes Back that I'm listening to because Pat, you said something about it, and I was like, I gotta listen to it. And then I have the. Are there two A Certain Point of Views, or are there more?
there's only two right now, just A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I have A New Hope in hard copy that I haven't really like delved into yet, and then I'm listening to Empire.
Yeah, I was mentioning that you should listen to A Good Kiss, which is the story of the person that walks in between Han and Leia as they're having an argument.
Gosh.
Yes.
And you watch that movie and you're like, oh, just a guy walking through, nothing to see here, and then he gets a full story. It's a great story. Vanessa, are you reading anything?
I'm in the middle of reading Dune, which is so long.
That's an undertaking.
It is. It's very long. I started reading Rising Storm, and then I was like, oh, like I need to finish Dune. Like, Rising Storm can wait. Even though I was really enjoying Rising Storm, and now I just want to like ignore Dune and finish Rising Storm. No, because like literally every time that I'm in a VC, and then people be like, oh, like bring up a character from the High Republic, and then like I haven't read Rising Storm, I'll like rip out my headphones or like deafen myself like so quickly. Things always get spoiled for me, and I want to, this sounds bad, I want to like cry, but not because I find out through a spoiler. Like I want the emotions to hit me as I read it.
Absolutely.
So,
and I know that I'm going to cry.
I'm going to just go on the record saying so Dune has been out for a long time.
Yes.
If you're worried about spoilers, I would jump to Rising Storm because it's a quicker read, and reading it will affect your life more in the present. Not like I just mean like when you're in voice chat,
Gotcha.
It very frequently comes up. So if we get rid of that, like Dune spoilers have probably never come up or very rarely. No. So like I don't know. That's what I would do if I were you. Plus myself, I plan to read Dune. I have not done it yet, but I'm gonna watch the movie first because the book is always better than the movie. So I'd rather go from here to here than from here to here. You know?
You never know.
Never know.
There's a lot of people giving you nudges, Vanessa, in the chat.
I don't know what that means.
Harith says Vanessa should be reading Rising Storm. Julia Christine says finish the Rising Storm, it's so good. And then Brian, of course, says Vanessa is cheating on her books.
I have a super unpopular opinion. The Rising Storm might be my least favorite of the High Republic books.
Ooh.
Because all of them are great.
Is it unpopular? I don't know. Like, I haven't taken like stock of everyone's opinions on the Rising Storm. I know a lot of people like it. I think
I've only heard good things about it.
Let's face it though, that's like taking 5th place at the Olympics. Like, it's still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and like this is saying a lot. Like whenever someone tells me what their favorite book is and it's from the High Republic, I don't care which book it is. I'm like, the High Republic's my favorite era. I'm glad you're reading it, first of all. Thank you for reading it, second of all. But also, keep going, Let's look at the second book that was announced called Brotherhood with the subtitle Cover Not Final. What does that mean? Lore reason. Just kidding. May the force be with you. Cover not final. Okay, so this one's coming out in May 10th.
It's all of them behind like a wall, like being behind cover, like during the war, and they're just slowly chipping away at that wall. So.
Cover not final. So this one's about Obi-Wan and Anakin. The Clone Wars have begun. Battle lines are being drawn throughout the galaxy with every world that joins the Separatists. The peace guarded by the Jedi Order is slipping through their fingers. After an explosion devastates Catonomoidia, the jewel of the Trade Federation, the Republic is blamed, and fragile neutrality of the planet is threatened. The Jedi dispatch Obi-Wan Kenobi, one of the Order's most gifted diplomatic minds, to investigate the crime and maintain the balance that has begun to dangerously shift. As Obi-Wan investigates with the help of a heroic Neimoidian guard, where are the droidekas? He finds himself working against the separatists who hope to draw the planet into their conspiracy, and senses the sinister hand of Asajj Ventress in the mist. Is this gonna canonize the scar?
I think it will. I think it will.
Oh dear.
And I think this will be I think this is going to sorry, it's probably not my turn to talk, but don't care. I think this is going to canonize some of the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars, as well as bits and pieces from the Labyrinth of Evil book.
Ooh.
So yeah, I think we're gonna get lots of great stuff. Also, part of what we find out in the Revenge of the Sith novelization. So once Anakin gets knighted, right, he cuts off his little ponytail, and he gives it to Padme as a wedding gift. And I think we might be able to see that as well.
That's so cheesy.
It is cheesy. But he doesn't have any possessions. I mean, they did trade droids, but still.
Yeah. It's still lovely. Either way. But it's very, very saucy if we're going to get to see that scar, the origin of it, in canon. But amid the brewing chaos, Anakin Skywalker rises to the rank of Jedi Knight. Despite the mandate that Obi-Wan travel alone and his former master's insistence that he listen this time, Anakin's headstrong determination means nothing can stop him from crashing the party and bringing along a promising but conflicted youngling. Once a Padawan to Obi-Wan, Anakin now finds himself on equal but uncertain footing with the man who raised him. The lingering friction between them increases the danger for everyone around them. The two knights must learn a new way to work together, and they must learn quickly. To save Cato Neimoidia and its people from the fires of war, to overcome the threat that they face, they must grow beyond master and apprentice. They must stand together as brothers.
Ooh.
Yeah. What's this synopsis making you feel?
I mean, I'm happy that we have my favorite Asajj Ventress cosplayer on the panel currently.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I am always down for another Asajj Ventress story.
Yes, absolutely. And this one is going to be, as we keep saying, it may adapt and canonize a version of the Anakin and Ventress fight. So it's just crazy. More Obi-Wan and Anakin. Are we gonna get a book version of Where Are the Droidekas?
I hope not. I'm gonna cringe so hard depending on how the voices of the Neimoidians are read in the audiobook version.
Does it say who's gonna narrate the audiobook? No, it's just Mike. It's just Mike Chen.
Again, you come before us, Your Highness.
Oh,
wow. Additionally, though, it's going to be really interesting to see that relationship shift because, and I'm curious if we are going to get like some Qui-Gon nuggets in the background because that's a shift that Obi-Wan never had to go through with Qui-Gon. You know, Qui-Gon died before he was made a knight, so they were always, master and apprentice. But to have that shift, two people that instead of more of a fatherly relationship, they were more like brothers before. But now Obi-Wan can't actually tell Anakin what to do, even though he practically raised him. So he can tell him to do something, and he's like, "No, I'm a knight too. Like you don't outrank me." So I don't know.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
In a lot of ways, I'm past Obi-Wan.
I'm also like I'm surprised that they chose this time period to do the book on because there's a lot more story missing from his Padawan days. Like we don't, how many years? He's 9, and then when is Attack of the Clones? He's 19?
19 then, yeah.
So like there's 10 years in between that there's relatively no content for, especially if we're gonna do an Obi-Wan and Anakin one. Just to see how Obi-Wan is like training Anakin up through those years, through those teenage years. Good God, you can imagine Anakin in those days.
I was watching Attack of the Clones last night, and I feel like we did get some teenage. And, like, I know he was 19, but like my roommate and I were just cracking up because he hadn't seen it in, I don't know, 15 years, and we were both just cracking up at the teenage Anakin just going crazy.
I kind of feel
The
like
dialogue.
based on the dialogue, I kind of feel like George Lucas was like, we don't have these 10 years, but we're going to ball it up. And he's just going to explode with 13, 14-year-old Anakin in the first couple of minutes. And there you go. That's his teenage years Anakin. I don't like
But it's
saying
interesting because he referred to Obi-Wan as like his father figure so many times throughout. I don't know, especially that movie, but like in general. So having Brotherhood, seeing the transition is going to be very, very cool.
Oh, yeah. Any other thoughts on Brotherhood?
Like Haley said, I'm so excited for more Ventress content. I love her very much. I simp for her really hard as well. Any chance I get, I will talk about my simping for her. Also, I think it was Thursday night while I was painting. I was in a VC and we were talking about this book. I want to say it was Chris that brought this up. I'm not going to steal this as like my own idea, but people brought up how in Revenge of the Sith, they were discussing between when Anakin and Obi-Wan like say goodbye. It's basically Anakin like saying goodbye to Obi-Wan, like his last time seeing him as Anakin, before he becomes Darth Vader. He said, something like, I saved you 10 times, and then Obi-Wan's like 9 times, like that Kid in the Moria thing like doesn't count. And I think it was Chris that said it probably doesn't count because Anakin wasn't supposed to be there. Anakin being Anakin, he's putting his nose where it doesn't belong. I'm also curious to see who this youngling is, because I feel like if it was Ahsoka, they would say it was Ahsoka. So I also enjoyed just like children in Star Wars and like seeing the galaxy from their perspective. I know the perspective isn't really going to be from them, from this youngling, but I eat that up. And I just think you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you. I just think like that's gonna hit even harder after reading this book. Like I'm just gonna have to like skip to that scene and cry a little bit.
There's gonna be a scene in the book where they're like, looking at each other, and Obi-Wan's got his hand on Anakin's shoulder, and he's like, "We're brothers now." And then everyone's gonna cry.
And then Anakin's gonna say, "I know."
Come on.
Catching it back up in the chat really quick, Brooke says, The Rising Storm is a little more character-driven than Light of the Jedi, which is why I like it more. Harith says, Brotherhood hype. Chris says, it will canonize the Scar. Brooke also says, Ventress content, I am not emotionally prepared for this one. No one is. And this might be suggestive, but I too simp for Ventress. She is
have you not read Dark Disciple? You can't not, I mean, I remember Vanessa when we were reading Dark Disciple. But no,
that gala dress, I'm still not over it.
the gala dress, what does he say? Like, oh man, he says something very suggestive at that point in time. But the nod and a wink, or the full on gambit. That book did some things.
It did.
It was very dark and sometimes disciplinary. We'll leave it at that. On to the next book that was announced, which is Stories of Jedi and Sith by Jennifer Heddle. The battle between good and evil never ends. The brave Jedi.
This is my pitch. by the way. But go ahead.
The brave Jedi, the devious Sith, these iconic heroes and villains embody the struggle between light and dark that is at the very heart of Star Wars. In this exciting middle grade anthology, 10 acclaimed authors imagine all new tales for some of the saga's most popular characters, from Luke Skywalker to Darth Vader, from Obi-Wan Kenobi to Asajj Ventress, and beyond, complete with beautiful spot illustrations, epic standoffs, cunning plots, courageous action, and ruthless anger are all here in this showcase of the enduring power of one of the greatest movies of all time. Wow. It is relatively your pitch. Granted, is it being read from Rey's perspective?
I legit think that this article has been changed since the last time I saw it, because at the bottom where it says included our stories by the following authors, before it actually had characters' names next to the authors' names. And the first one, Roseanne A. Brown, had Rey's name next to it. Now, a lot of these anthology stories do have a narrative, like, Legends of Luke Skywalker, the Canto Bight. There's a few of them that have like a narrative that goes throughout. And seeing Rey as the first one, I just imagined this is Rey finding out about these historical battles of dark and light. So that's how I imagine it. I will use the Wayback Machine and try to find it. I am certain that the characters were next to these authors' names last time I looked at them.
Now, it could be because this is an anthology that there was an actual story for Rey, right? And it's not like Rey reading the tales.
Entirely possible. But do you see that? It's the very first one. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just betting. That's just me. This is what I'm saying is not canon yet. So spoilers, I hope.
What do you guys think, Haley?
I think that would be such a good way of telling the story, because I've definitely heard the extensive Darth Choco pitch, and I am so on board. And so hearing that we're getting like an anthology of like very varied characters, I think that would be very exciting. We'd get a lot of different kinds of information. Yeah.
And this is something we need.
Yeah.
Vanessa, your thoughts?
I'm trying to condense my thoughts. I had not heard your pitch before, and now like that's what I want to happen.
That means she hasn't listened to High Ground. I'm just kidding.
Okay. In my defense, I have something that usually happens when High Ground airs, so I'm unable to watch. However, I do have the opportunity to. I do have the opportunity to listen later on. I'm just bad at like keeping up with podcasts. Even music. I don't really listen to. Anyway, enough about me. Back to the Jedi and the Sith. I'm curious, like how they're going to tell these stories from like different perspectives. Like I'm curious if they're going to be telling these characters stories from the perspective of like the general populace, and like there's kind of like a telephone game that happens when people's stories are told, and as audience members we see what actually happens. But I'm curious if like I know we're talking about terrifying tales later, but when they say like that's how Luke Skywalker blew up the Death Star, like is it not? Yeah. And like that's just like I don't know, I guess like.
So if we're dealing with like unreliable narrators, then.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so this one does say that it's all new tales. So I don't think, because I know what you mean. They also did that in the book, Clone Wars. Yeah,
and Legends of Luke Skywalker.
Where I mean, the Clone Wars was literally the same arcs mostly the same arcs from the actual show, just told from a specific person's point of view throughout the whole narrative. But yeah, it's going to be all new. So I don't know. We will have to wait and see. One of the ones I'm most excited for is Karen Strong, the last one. It's a Barris Offee story. So I have no idea
that would
what to
be cool.
expect.
Why did they remove the names? Because of people like us, right? Because of people like you in particular at this very moment. Because I didn't know that. Oh man.
Also,
but these are authors, right? So, like, would the names suggest that the stories are just titled like, you know, Game of Thrones style? It's just the name of the character and then the tale for that character.
Possibly.
I mean,
And so real quick though, I'll run through it. Roseanne A. Brown, sorry. Roseanne.
That's a deep cut. It's a deep cut.
Is writing something about Rey. Sarwat Chada is doing Anakin and Obi-Wan. Delilah S. Dawson, who I love, is doing an Asajj Ventress story. Tessa Gratton is doing a Palpatine story. Michael Cogg is doing a Yoda story. Sam Maggs is doing a Luke Skywalker story. Michael Morecki is doing a Maul story. Alex Segura is doing a Qui-Gon story. Vera Strange is doing a Darth Vader story. And the last one is Karen Strong with Barris Offee.
Yeah. So for those of you who haven't read the Game of Thrones books, the chapters, they don't have chapters. They're just the names of the characters in which they're going to talk about in that one. So it kind of looks like it's going to be, it's just going to say like Rey and then the story or the tale to be told about her. This is definitely something we need because, you know, even though it's still Jedi, there's Sith. And we still don't have a lot of Sith material in canon books and expanded media. So we have Acolyte, we have Stories of Jedi and Sith, and then we have Secrets of the Sith coming out soon, I think October 23rd or 22nd, which is in like 3 weeks? 2 weeks from now.
Yeah,
yes.
Time is hard. I don't know.
But if we don't have any other thoughts on that, we're going to move on to Padawan by Kirsten White, releasing July 26th in 2022. Since you're on the page, Choco, do you want to read the synopsis for that?
I am off the page. Wait, I got it. Obi-Wan Kenobi really wants to be a good Padawan, the best Padawan even. But that's feeling more and more impossible with his new master, Qui-Gon Jinn. All of Obi-Wan's friends are off training to be real Jedi, getting mission experience, while he's still on Coruscant, practicing his forms and sitting in silent contemplation. Ever since Qui-Gon's former master Dooku left the Order, it feels like Qui-Gon has been too busy trying to connect with the Force or arguing with the Jedi Council to properly train his Padawan. When Obi-Wan finally convinces Qui-Gon to take him on a mission to a remote planet once explored by an ancient Jedi, his master doesn't show up the morning they are to leave. So, Obi-Wan impulsively takes off by himself. Upon arriving on the mysterious, lush planet, he encounters a group of teenagers with no adult supervision, and all seem to have some connection to the Force. Free from the constraints of the Order, Obi-Wan joins them in their daring adventures. But the Padawan side of him keeps questioning the teens' strange relationship to the Force and to the verdant planet around them, and what all of it might mean to his future. Obi-Wan will test the limits of his relationship with the Jedi and the Force in this exciting yet soulful exploration of one of Star Wars' most enduring heroes.
Man, oh man.
I love the teenagers with no adult supervision. It sounds so fun.
It sounds like the Discord 18+.
I'm excited to hear Obi-Wan's uncomfortable, like, just absolute, I don't know about this. Like, I am, that is going to be a good story.
It kind of makes me think, like, that whole thought makes me think of Chucky from Rugrats.
Oh,
not like the Bride of
You were
Chucky.
talking about the possessed doll.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
If you remember Rugrats from the good old days,
I vaguely remember it.
I don't.
speaking of which, is Chucky Chan gonna be in the Nickelodeon video game? You better be. Anyway, from Rugrats in Paris. Yeah, it sounds like an interesting book. A bunch of teenagers running around without adult supervision would have sounded cool when I was younger. Now it sounds like torture.
A bunch of teenagers with attitudes, as Chris
Like,
says.
all these youths. No, it's gonna be an interesting read, and the thing I'm here for is adolescent Obi-Wan, like sitting there, like, I don't know, daydreaming about Siritachi, and then being like scolded for it by Qui-Gon, and then like he's gonna go on this adventure. There's gonna be girls there, teenage girls.
That's what I thought.
I don't know. I think there's gonna be a chapter called like Obi-Wan's first boner or something like that.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, it's bound to happen.
We're lucky. This stream is marked not made for kids.
Gotcha.
I have a bad feeling about this. That'll be the name of the chapter.
Yeah, I mean, so like, Julia, if you're in the chat, you were saying how this hinders the quirky Kenobi truth concept, and I would love for you to put in the chat how this does, or how this kind of puts a kibosh in that.
I was watching some of Julia's videos, so I could be corrected, but I know she contacted the author to see exactly when this takes place, and the verdict is that Corky Kenobi lives, because this takes place after Master and Apprentice. This takes place before Master and Apprentice, so that means Obi-Wan going to Mandalore would still be after. I believe that is her deal, but I could be wrong. Wanted to get the timelines down.
I still don't see how it puts the kibosh on the Corky Kenobi thing. I mean,
I don't think it does. I think she proved it does not.
Oh, okay. Man, the chat's devolving. Brooke starts with, "It's bound to happen."
Well, I mean, Chris is quoting Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Boned. It's Raymond Holt.
Brian says this takes place before Master and Apprentice and Mandalore. Okay, so we still don't have that story. They're doing their damnedest to stay away from that freaking story. I
Yeah, because
swear.
Claudia Gray has to write it.
I mean, yeah. Is she done with
I
Fallen
see
Star
Malik
yet?
in the chat.
That could be their.
Malik.
What's up, Malik Frierson? Is that how you say it? Is it Frierson?
Yeah, Frierson.
Thank you for tuning in, Malik. Okay, that's the last book. We spent a lot of time on it, which is okay. We're always down to call audibles here. So I propose. I mean, does anybody have any thoughts on Ghost of Vader's Castle issue 1? Because there's one thing I do want to say off the bat, is that this story, while canon, is a dream for anybody that's going to, like, the people who took the panels from Vader 2017 and were like, oh, Palpatine is Anakin's father. This issue is the canon part of this issue is the Orchis or Orcus with what's her name? I just read it too. There's a brother and a sister, and they're like caretakers, and he's going through the estate, and he's just describing to his droid Crate that he had a dream that he was Anakin, and there was this like mission to go to this planet, and the droids all turned into some like October Halloween
zombie.
Yeah.
Her name is Lena, by the way.
Lena right. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
They do call back the Old Republic and the High Republic in this comic, which is awesome. But I just want to get that out of the way before y'all started talking about it. That sequence with Anakin, Padme, and C-3PO and the droids, that's a dream sequence. The canon portion is Lena and the guy. I don't remember his name. Choco, take over.
Yeah, but if you want to see a weird zombified Jar Jar Binks, this
oh my god,
it's got it. It's yeah. Help Misa. There's some weird stuff in it.
So go ham right now. I'm gonna see if I can't bring it up on the browser.
Yeah, I mean the story is it's wild. So I don't know how much I can truly say before you're able to get it pulled up on the screen, but yeah, we have an adventure with Anakin and Padme. They have R2 and C-3PO with them, as well as Jar Jar Binks for some reason, and yeah, they get some zombified oil.
There it is, right there. This is the picture of Jar Jar, correct?
help Amisa.
Oh, that is one of them. But and sorry, the stream is actually behind. And that's where I'm looking. Is there another?
Oh, I see. Okay.
But if that's
Do you want the panel that says "Helping Misa"?
The one where it's a zombie is pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Anakin's face. They both look like horrified and disgusted.
I mean, if you're gonna die to anyone, it just like not Jar Jar. Like, you know, I feel like it's more disappointed, not in the zombie part, but the Jar Jar part.
Yeah. What did you guys think about when reading this? First of all, because I mean, right off the bat, I'm so glad that they're having so much more fun with these stories and the expanded media for Star Wars, because, you know, of course, like, this is still all canon. Like, being able to go into these like dream sequences and portray a Halloween-esque tale just increases accessibility for the expanded media.
Really?
Whose dream is it?
What was the question?
Whose dream is it?
It on the screen, I believe it's this guy that I can't remember his name.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his dream. He was telling Crate that he had a dream of this. And so in this panel right here, he's falling back asleep because Crate is betraying him. Let's see. Let's look at this panel right here. That's C-3PO becoming a zombie. How does that work, Choco?
That doesn't work very well. I don't know. I mean, I just don't feel like C-3PO has the range of motion in his arms to really be that threatening. But then again,
what I was thinking, like, what is he gonna do? He's so stiff. Also, I can't see his voice being like ominous. He's just a very like innocent character, and I mean, I guess they make Jar Jar scary, but Jar Jar's more like you were saying, like, oh, like I don't want to die to that, like Gungan breath, like, ugh, not interested. But a droid, and R2 as well. I mean, R2 can like zap people, but I think that's like all he's really capable of.
Now I'm just picturing him like, terribly sorry, I'm gonna have to eat your brains.
Let's
there's a 1 in million something chance that this would happen.
let's take a look at Jar Jar helping Misa. Oh, he's like, Misa komen any, and then no Misa not. Oh, this is so fun.
More afraid of zombie R2 than zombie 3PO.
Really?
I think R2 would know how to get things done.
That's
3PO
true.
would just I don't know. He's made for protocol.
What about
I feel
a
like
zombie?
I could juke C-3PO and then he would just fall down. You know what I mean? But like R2's got the wheels, he's got little rockets, he's chasing you down, he's on your ass no matter what.
What about like a zombie chopper?
Oh my god. He was the unstoppable.
Too chaotic. I can't do it.
Yeah.
My brain won't allow me to.
Let's catch up with the chat. Malik said that I got his name right on the first try. No one ever gets it right the first time. Like a boss. I the way I approach pronunciations is always to treat like long words as a compound word, and I'll split them up and say them separately. So I saw Fryer. There you go. Zombie chopper would end all life in the galaxy.
I agree.
He would be more than a war criminal.
Too powerful.
Way
He
too
would
powerful.
be on par with zombie Wanda. We saw in What If. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
I haven't seen it either. Choco's like, God damn it.
Well, those in the chat, you've seen it.
Maybe. You can't really tell these days, you know? I mean, I don't know. What if was like a different What if it's like a different beast for me, because like, you know, with Loki I was there midnight, but what if it was kind of like I'll watch it when I have time? So I don't know. Maybe I'm not a Marvel guy like you say.
No, it's okay, and I got there, and I'll have people in my comment section like, "Hey, you haven't talked about What If?" I was like, "Eh."
Okay, so now that we've, I guess, previewed Ghost of Vader's Castle, or at least, does anybody have any final thoughts on that comic, or is that just not very exciting?
No, I was entertained. I wasn't aware that there was any like canonicity to it. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a fun story, but I kind of prefer the comics that are like connected to other stories that I know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No,
I feel kind of ignorant saying that.
I don't feel ignorant, because I took this story for what it was. It was a dream sequence that didn't really happen. But besides that, like, we don't know anything about these two people that are, like, you know,
yeah, that's true,
initiating this dream sequence. So it was just a fun little thing to see Jar Jar zombified, and like C-3PO and R2 and Anakin get his arm taken off again via
that was so funny. Okay,
tray.
I did like that part. I did like the little addition of like, oh no, my arm! Like it reminded me of what is that Jim Carrey movie? I think it's
Liar, liar.
Liar.
Yes.
Yeah, where he's like,
The claw.
Yeah, that is what I thought of.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But do you, anything else, Choco? Before we
Well, I
move
was
on?
gonna say, speaking of fun little stories, we also got to see the Lego Horrifying Tales, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm very anxious to hear y'all's thoughts.
Absolutely. Go ham.
It was the perfect introduction to spoopy season. I I came home and I was like, Mom, we need to watch this. For people that like are unaware, my mom does not like horror movies, but I was really excited to like finally see a horror movie in a theater this summer when the third Conjuring came out. So I made her watch all of the Conjuring movies with me, and I traumatized her. But Terrifying Tales is obviously like not traumatizing for her.
Hold on, that's a huge leap. How do you like? She doesn't like horror, or she hasn't seen a lot of horror?
Well, she's seen horror, and like I haven't seen The Exorcist because like she just never showed it to me. Like I haven't seen any like traditional horror movies just because I wasn't like raised watching them, and she was like, oh my god, like it's so scary, like no, like don't even open it on the screen, don't even play the trailer, like I can't, like no, stop it, like I wanted to watch it last night. And
so you took her to Conjuring 3.
Yeah, I went to see it with her once, and then it wasn't that scary for her. The one that she was scared by in the Conjuring series, which I think is the one that is like the least liked, and like least connected to, is the Curse of La Llorona, because like my mom is Hispanic and like she grew up like knowing about like the curse, like this folk tale. Then it felt more real to her, even though like the Conjuring stories are like loosely based on reality. And then she found out that as a kid she had like the actual Annabelle doll. She's very superstitious, and she was just like, oh my god, like you're ruining life for me. But we did like Terrifying Tales a lot. She was laughing really hard with me. She loved all like the different references to different horror movies. Yeah, I thought it was really fun.
What about you, Haley?
I absolutely love Terrifying Tales. I really like all of the Lego specials. I haven't seen All Stars, but like both the Life Day one and the Halloween one, like I thought were really well done. Because I think they're not canon, obviously, but I think they add enough of canon and like enough little details that makes it really interesting, like for someone that like is really interested in canon. Or like I was watching Terrifying Tales with my roommate who hasn't seen Clone Wars, but seeing like the mall stuff with the spider, she probably just thought, oh, it's Halloween, it's a Halloween movie, but like Maul's almost his little spider legs. And I'm like, no, but there's actually like a whole story behind that. And so I really love how like the Lego Tales kind of do that, where if somebody's just watching it for the first time, they're getting something enjoyable, but like Star Wars fans are like, wow, that's actually a big connecting piece.
Yeah, I thought the same thing as well with what was the artifact? Oh, the Knight of Ren helmet. And when they initially show Ben training with the other Padawans, I was like, oh my gosh, it looks exactly like the Rise of Kylo Ren comic. And then I was like, wait, like he's gonna kill them all. And then during my rewatch, I was like, wait, like I didn't remember if okay, is the guy with the long hair supposed to be Ren, like the Knight of Ren?
The long white hair?
Yeah, is that supposed to be him? Because they have like the same hair color. Is it?
It's complicated because he calls the lightsaber Ren, but he is kind of Ren. Yeah. But
what is the lightsaber actually called? What is it? The saber of Sardoch? No one remembers.
The artifact lightsaber. Yeah, I don't remember.
Skardon?
Yeah,
Skardon. Yeah, I think it's Daunt. I don't think it's Don't.
Skardont. We'll just go with that.
I think it's Skardont, like restaurant.
So Skardont.
That's how it. Okay. Okay.
I'm just busted. I also have to watch the credits more and pay attention to the credits more because this just blew my mind. Brian says Christian Slater was Ren. I didn't know that. Since when?
But
Was there more people in the
did,
Terrifying Tales that I didn't know?
I did not pay attention to who was in it. I don't know.
Was Adam Driver Kylo? Didn't sound like
I
him.
don't think so. The voice sounded very like, I don't know, caricature-y. I can't explain.
Yeah.
Like it takes a little getting used to, like how it did with the Life Day one with Rey's voice. I was just like, oh, okay. And then by the end, I was like, this is a really nice story. Like the voice doesn't even matter.
I'm starting to appreciate the Lego stuff a lot more. I think I'm in a very similar situation as Brandon or Choco. The holiday special with the Tip Yip and Rey and Finn, that was my first Lego Star Wars that I actually kind of like watched like fully and consumed. And I hadn't seen All Stars. I still haven't seen All Stars, but like this one, I'm enjoying them a lot more because I do enjoy the Lego movies, you know, and their sense of humor and levity is always on point. And shout out to Jedi Master DePaul. The Force is strong with this one, dropping some love. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Always
DePaul,
good
you're
to
the
see
best.
you stopping by. Also, if you guys are not already, follow the Conspiracy Cantina. DePaul is one half of them, with X-Core Gamer Skills the other half. It's a great podcast to talk about all things Star Wars. And that, of course, reminds me to go into our segment, Far Far Away Factory. At Far Far Away Factory on Instagram, B_Dazzler on TikTok, Etsy.com/shop/Far Far Away Factory. Look at those shoes. Look at the shirts. Look at that jacket with the throne room scene. It's incredibly done.
I was waiting for the rhyme. You can't
Do it then. I think I missed it. The opportunity.
look at this jacket. Look at these shirts. Look at all this cool new Star Wars merch.
Oh, when you said shirt, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, so like let's talk about what happens in Terrifying Tales, because
Also, real quick, I couldn't wait. I had to shout out to Matthew Wood, our General Grievous voice himself, for being Ben Solo in this. And so yeah, I pulled up. You know, it was, like we said, it was great to hear Sam Witwer again coming back as Maul, but Tony Hale as Vinay, and I knew I recognized that voice. Let's see here. You know, we gotta reach out to Shelby Young to see if she'll come on. She was Leia, you know, in this, but she also had a small part in Tatooine Rhapsody. Seeing all of her, seeing all of her stuff on TikTok. I don't know. I want to reach out to her. James Earl Taylor definitely coming back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. We had some, you know, some great voice acting, but yeah, that was Christian Slater as Ren.
Awesome. Brooke says there's a giveaway on her Instagram right now. So again, that's Far Far Away Factory on Instagram. Go check it out. There's a giveaway. Lots of cool merch. The little merch maid. Nice, Brian. So I wanted to talk about the especially Haley wanted to talk about it, is the differences between the Rise of Kylo Ren and the Terrifying Tales, mainly because I've been seeing a lot of articles treating the Terrifying Tales as canon, and saying that Star Wars gives Kylo Ren a new origin story. And some articles, of course, end it by saying, now, while this is not canon, it's interesting to see this. Yeah. change your headlines. First
Very
of all,
misleading.
yes. And so the first difference, of course, being, well, let's just like get it out of the way. This is not canon. This is all fun and games with Star Wars. So the first glaring difference is, of course, the Knights of Ren visiting the village, and Kylo or Ben just kind of like walking it off, and they just ride by and they're like, "See you around, kid," and then Ren destroys the temple with Kylo, and we're with Ben, and that's how it all starts. There's no Snoke, there's no manipulation, there's no dreams. Go for it, Haley.
My question was like, what are the similarities and differences? Because I do not read the comics, but I obviously really like the logo stuff. So I had asked Hep and was wondering, like, what are the differences? Yeah, and so I am not sure what you wanted me to answer because I don't know what to compare it to.
Choco, do you want to kind of like maybe do a high level recap of Rise of Kylo Ren?
Sure. But one thing I did want to say though, and one of the things that it seems to have a lot of people confused, is that this story, it was an intentional joke because they mixed his origin with the 1987 vampire movie Lost Boys.
Yes.
It was just Lost Boys. When they're hanging from the bridge and dropping down and all that stuff, all of that happened in the Lost Boys. And so, but I think it's been long enough that a lot of people don't remember that movie. That's the only vampire movie
We're dating ourselves right now.
Yeah, that movie is from. Well, I know it mostly because it was one of my mom's favorite movies. But yeah, if you want to know
Kiefer
how old I am,
Sutherland was young.
Yeah. Corey Haim was still a thing. That had both Corys. But and the fact that I know that is also dated. I was born the same day the Princess Bride came into theaters. So yeah.
Interesting. That's gonna make me Google my date of birth movies.
That being said, the Rise of Kylo Ren comic essentially starts with a mission where, well, I mean, we see Kylo Ren still training. He's more advanced than the other students and stuff like that. He goes on a mission with his uncle Luke, with Lor Santuca as well, and they find a bunch of Jedi artifacts and stuff like that. Like essentially, it's the cache of what's her face. But the Knights of Ren are there, also trying to, and Luke steps up and just handles them like quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like it's not even a fight. Luke's like, you can fight me if you want to, but you're not gonna like how it turns out. And he was right. So Ren, their leader, drops his helmet and basically lets Kylo Ren know that, or Ben know that, contact us someday. And so after all the stuff happens, the altercation with Luke, he goes back there, he picks up the helmet, puts it on, and is able to communicate and meet up with them through that communication. And of course, he was still wearing his Jedi robes, so they made him change, and then he looks like an emo Han Solo. It's the best.
Oh my God. I have to interrupt
Hot
for
topic
one
Han.
moment.
Please do.
The top of the top box office movie the day I was born was Rush Hour 2.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. We would love to see that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So the two movies that of note that I see as I Google it that came out in 1985 was The Breakfast Club
Solid.
and Commando with Arnold
Ooh.
Schwarzenegger.
That's the best Arnold movie.
Oh,
Let off some
yeah.
steam, Benedict.
Oh, and then there's Legend and Clue.
Oh,
you guys-
Clue.
Have you guys seen Legend? Tom Cruise?
No.
We need to do like a retro watch along for some of these
Down.
old movies.
Remember when I said I'd kill you last? I lied! God, I love Arnold.
Looks like my birthday was one of the Jurassic Park movies. Not the first one. One of them.
The Lost World?
Yeah, that's the one.
Got it.
Oh man. Okay, but interesting with Rise of Kylo Ren. I very much assumed it would be like very broad strokes, but I was so hoping from all along that we would see some of the Rise of Kylo Ren on screen, no matter what form. And I'm like, I think that checks that box. I'm like, it's not canon. It didn't go down like that, but we did see Ben have his conflict, meet the Knights of Ren, end up going with them, have his emo boy outfit change. So
Yeah.
Blow up.
yeah,
We saw Ren
Yeah.
too. I mean, just even though the
Okay,
version of events.
Ren is better looking in the comic. I went to look because I was like, wait, how does he look in the comic? Because he took off his helmet and he had this like smirk and like his hair was blowing in the wind. I was like, hold on, like this guy, like
Everyone
there's a
move
live
aside.
action- like,
Vanessa's simping right now.
technically- There's like technically a live action version of him, like a comic live action version. Let me find the panel. I have it with me. There's one where I was like, oh, hold on.
I mean, but are you truly comparing like Lego models to like a drawing? Because I would agree with you. Yes, he does look better in the comics. I'm just saying those are Lego blocks, though.
No, I just hold on. Okay, this one
He
here.
might be a little less defined, I guess.
He doesn't have long hair, but he's still like, look at the way he like carries himself. That like the
Yeah.
arms out. Anyway.
Actually, while you have the comic out, you want to show everyone the picture of Hot Topic Han?
Hot topic on. Let me find it.
And while she finds it, let's look at everyone's movies. Harith Productions was born during Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Like, actually during it. Like, his parents were in the theater watching, and as the upside down kiss happened, he was conceived.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Brooke said
Hold on.
Apollo 13. Nice.
Classic.
A good one.
And then Malik says Titanic was number 1 when he was born. Is that your cat?
yeah. The
Please
cat
don't
came
mute
in.
that.
She's has a lot to say.
I would love to
Always.
hear more.
Always has a lot to say.
Okay, I don't know which specific panel you're asking for, but I think this one shows kind of like the full Hot
The
Topic
full on Gambit.
outfit.
No, I just love the image when he switches up from the Jedi garb.
Oh,
and,
here's a
like,
better.
Yeah, but he's got like the jacket and all this stuff. I don't know.
It's a cool vest. It looks like it has a lot of pockets. You could put a lot of things in them. You know?
Yeah, but they make him be shirtless as he's like bleeding his crystal. It's just so unnecessary. And then it ends. with,
Unnecessary
like-
for whom?
Exactly. Lots of things in this world.
Well, I guess it's a callback to like. Do you have like a cloak or something?
Oh, yeah. From Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's funny. It's a good one.
But
Yeah.
what? So like the differences, of course, being they another difference being like they didn't never went to Elfrona, right? So Ben, when after the temple is destroyed, he runs off to Elfrona to get that helmet, I think, right? Ren's helmet. And all of the students that were off-world at the time came back and they saw him leaving, and then they go to Elfrona, and that's the first time he kills one of them. This one, in Terrifying Tales, a lot more slapstick. Not many people die at his hands. He's just like, cool motorbikes. I'm gonna put on this helmet. I'm Kylo.
I especially love. I mean, I saw Brian with the beard put it in chat, but the little moment when Vader kisses Luke as they swing across.
Oh my god, that is my favorite part. For luck.
Oh man, I wish I could play
which
this
one was
stuff
your
on here.
guys's? Which one was your guys' favorite story?
I think mine was the Wookiee Paw. I liked seeing a different personality in Luke, like a very greedy Luke Skywalker, and just like him wanting to join the Empire and just like wanting more and more, and then the way that they like changed his eyes, he had like very dark circles, and then they have Leia and Kenobi is alive. It's just interesting to just in general with all of these stories kind of like have our own sort of like what if of Star Wars. But yeah, I think the Wookiee Paw was my favorite one.
I liked Maul and Grievous. That was a great one with the Saber of Scarred Don't. Just because, we got more of Maul and we got more of Grievous. Two people that people want severely more of, and they got them both together at the same time.
Yeah.
And we found out who would win in a fight.
That makes it easier for the versus community for sure.
Now, some of the slapstick though that just comes along with that of like chopping his arms off and like they just fall off the ground legless, and like, I don't know, it just makes me chuckle. Like the whole spider leg thing was just terrifying.
You're no match for me. Oh. Catching up to the chat, we do have a Forrest Gump in the chat from Chris. Brian was born the week of Basketball Diaries and Kiss of Death. Is Kiss of Death like a Hong Kong flick? That reminds me of like Cynthia Rothrock and the old days of martial arts films.
It makes me think of like Machete and stuff like that.
DePaul, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Nice. Very, very nice. And then Xanatos 1138 was born with Rambo First Blood Part 2 on his birthday. Wow. Very, very nice. Oh, then yeah, Malik, great call out there. The line with Maul yelling, "Force spin, force jump."
I like that.
It's just kind of like the Lego Star Wars to me, almost like with its levity, mimics how people play out their Star Wars stories. And it's more anime than you would think, because anime loves to say their name, the ability names.
Oh yeah. Which one was your favorite, Haley?
I probably would say the Wookiee's Paw, because that story, it was just so good with the Vader and Luke teaming up, like father-son bonding. I thought that was a lot of fun. Did anyone mention the tiny 2-second moment with the mouse droid? Because I cracked up when they're like, "Oh my god, a monster!" And then the camera zooms down. It's just a mouse droid. Like that is Star Wars Halloween. That is what I signed up for.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love the Vinay in general, not only because his name is similar to mine, but just how.
Can we call you Vinay from now on?
If you want to.
I'm gonna call you Vinay.
Your nickname.
Vinay.
I loved
Vanessa.
Personality? Oh my god. Oh, I have had people call me that and not fond of those people.
Watch me whip.
Watch
Watch me Vanessa.
Oh no. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, Vinay was just very like devious. Like you knew that he was up to something, and Poe is just so like invested in his own like cockiness that he doesn't even realize like what is happening. I love that they kind of show that like Poe is the one that ruins things in a way. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to word it. But yeah, I was also like I don't remember the hut's name. I know it's something with a G, and then Gabagool. I don't know.
Gobbledygook.
Gabagool, the hut.
Yeah, I don't. What is his name? Oh, whatever. I also enjoyed the hut as well. I think like
Grabala.
Grabala. That's better than Gabagool. I liked.
I would prefer Gabagool.
I liked just like the different personality of a hut, because we don't get like personalities from. They do have personalities, but like not this kind of personality. He's like trying to be an entrepreneur. He's like just like only thinking about like money and like what will benefit him, and just like all the conflicting personalities and agendas were like very humorous to me and brought a lot of levity to the story. Yeah, I really liked it. The more I talk about it now, I'm like, I watched it twice and I'm like, I need to watch it like one more time.
Also, you don't get more anime than having a mech fight at the end. So
Yeah.
The only thing they were missing is calling it Deus Ex Machina. So, Vanessa, Malik has 3 options for you. It's V Swizzle, V Dog, and Big V.
They always call me Big V. I've kind of gotten used to Big V. I wouldn't like to be called V Dog or V Swizzle, so I guess Big V is the only option.
Big Venene.
I will never call you that.
Big V?
Although it is reminiscent of Rocket Power, the dad on Rocket Power. They call him Big Ray.
Gotcha. Big Vinay.
It makes sense that the Terrifying Tales was about Poe, because the last holiday special was about Ray and Finn. And I'm wondering if like all of the specials here 2-4 will be, wow, Jesus Christ. That's like the second time I've used that transitional word in my life. all of the Lego specials after this one will be like maybe Rose next will have a special. Holdo, all of the characters from the sequel trilogy might have special Lego specials with them. So like, okay, so going off of that train of thought, if they have a Thanksgiving Lego special, which character is that about? So Halloween is with Poe. Christmas is Ray and Finn. Who's Thanksgiving?
I think it would be Rose. I think she's just very like about, like saving what you love, and she's just like, she wants everyone to like be together and be happy. Like, not that she's a pacifist, but I think her story in The Last Jedi is very focused on family and helping one another. And I also want Kelly Marie Tran to come back, and I know she was in the Life Day special, but she's a sweetheart, and it would be nice to, not that she's like the face of Thanksgiving, but like she's a cutie,
Oh. Well, it would make sense, like everyone's around the table, they're giving thanks. They get to Rose, and she's just like, I'm just very thankful that we did not fight what we hate, but saved what we loved.
I think any of them could be any. Like, I would be like if they wait for like Juneteenth to do a fin.
Oh man,
that'd be awkward. But
on the nose.
I if they did like how Hondo stole Life Day or something like that, I'd be very into that.
Oh my god. Oh, Hondo.
What about? Well, Brian says Thanksgiving with the Solos, Leia, Han, and Ben. That makes sense too.
Oh, like a mini Ben.
Or just a Force Ghost Ben. I'm just kidding.
Are we gonna find out who the mother? Sorry, who the mother of Lando's daughter is?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Is it the Twi'lek? Is it the Twi'lek chick from Last Shot?
Is it
She
LC?
was the one that was like. He was just the only person that he could see himself settling down with, right? So maybe. So do you think that Janna in that her big hairdo is hiding like Jason Syndulla Leku?
It's just green. Like that's not.
I don't know
I don't even
why
understand.
this must be a Mandela effect because I keep on looking back at Jason Syndulla and seeing horns. Or like, does he not have that stuff? He just has
No, he just has green hair, and there's no logical reason why he has green hair.
yeah.
Her
Unless the
skin is green.
Leku genetics went into his follicles. But then that makes me think that like is Janna is the color of the Twi'lek that if it is in fact like Lando and the Twi'lek a black Twi'lek? Or is she hiding Leku in the hair? I really need to know. I need like a physiological blueprint of how Twi'lek and human physiology mix.
Someone get Sawyer.
Or they might just call an audible and go with Legends and bring Tendra, his wife from Legends, into it.
I was thinking we might need Shalo and genetics.
Yeah, I would be down for that as well.
Yes, I'm gonna make a prompt for Shalo specifically on TikTok.
I'm gonna do a Star Wars science episode. That'd be fun.
Yeah, you could do it on here, do it on the high ground, get all the scientists on there, and just go ham on everything science in Star Wars, including midichlorians, because I know that's gonna be a subject that comes up. But yeah, I'm gonna prompt Shalo and Sawyer and see what they think about what happens when a Twi'lek and a human do it.
The real questions we need answers to.
I believe that's where rainbows come from.
That question is the reason I became a lore master. Dagovir in the chat, or Dagovere, let's go. Thank you for tuning in, Darius. It's good to see you. Green ear tips, Brian says. Could that? I'm not sure. Maybe, possibly. We're shifted into the open forum segment of this show, which is because we're close to wrapping up. We ran out of time about 18 minutes ago, but that's okay. I'm calling it audible because I love talking about Star Wars, especially with you guys. So open forum. What do you guys think would be the most beautiful mixture of species? And why is it not
Keldor and Trandoshan?
And why does it not include Nemoidians? This is a thinker, isn't it? Chat, please participate as well. You are part of the open forum.
I mean, honestly, if the Legends couple of Kit Fisto and Ayla Secura,
Yeah.
I feel like they'd have a beautiful tentacled creature. I mean, Kit Fisto can do. Have you seen him, that dude?
Animated Kit Fisto.
Yeah. Yes, please.
He started to seduce me. I started to feel seduced by him.
Brian with the beard. I just have to shout out Dago Verici. I'm going to appropriate that and start using that.
I am surprised you didn't say Dago Venena.
Dago Venay. Dago Venay. Yeah. Thank you, Choco.
I have a mixture. I don't know if it's possible, but headcanon. In the High Republic comics, one of the Hutts stays behind and falls in love with the Drengir. And they're all...
Are they called Drenguts?
I guess. I don't know.
Or hunger?
You know
Or
they
hunger?
It's like a big old tree, but real thick. Like,
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh my god. I was trying to think of like what would be the most disturbing.
It's no, that's pretty good.
Avon walks in on them.
I speaking of tendrils, Kit Fisto and Tipley or Tiplar who have Mickey-in and a Nautilin. Just a whole bunch of tendrils coming out of everywhere. Tendrils coming out of each tendril. It will just be branches.
It sounds unruly.
We have Twi'lek and Togruta from Malik. We have Mirialan and Chiss. That sounds like a natural one.
So it's just blue, but it has no eyes.
Yeah. A Gungan and a Chiss. Ew. That's all I have to say. Ew. That's just Jar Jar that but blue, right? No, I'm picturing Thrawn with Jar Jar's mouth and blue. That's gonna have to be a Photoshop at some point.
Bib Fortuna and anything.
Oh man.
Claude and a Hutt.
I feel like that'd be natural.
What's Claude's species again?
I don't recall. Although I do have this headcanon that all the slug-like species, that's just their first form, and at some point in time they'll go into a chrysalis and become a giant butterfly. Like, can you imagine if Jabba turned into a big giant but beautiful butterfly, but he was still like a gangster? I don't know.
God. I thought of another one, a Quarren and a Mon Calamari. I don't know how that would work.
A Qualamari?
A Calamari. Yeah.
It sounds delicious. That's what.
Oh man. That, you know what you described just reminds me of the Super Cho transformation. Butterfly wings from Naruto.
Oh yeah.
Just I don't know if you guys have seen anything on Naruto. I know you guys don't watch anime, like religiously at least. Have you guys, is Visions like the only exposure to anime you so far?
Pretty much. Yeah.
All of my friends love anime, so I hear a lot of it secondhand, but I have not seen.
Worked. So Naruto is like a ninja anime, and like there's this person who loves to eat, very, very big sized, and they have a technique where they put all of their chakra from all of the fat stored from what they eat into butterfly wings, and then they turn into like an ikemen, which is Japanese for a handsome man. And they just have butterflies, and then they become overpowered. But like, just like imagining a Hutt or even Claude, like going into like a chrysalis and just coming out like being like a model. Hello, I'm Claude.
I mean, well, we already have that ripped Hutt with the abs.
That's true. That sent me for a little bit when I saw that. I'm not gonna lie.
I was like, I'm just picturing him just doing sit-ups like a worm, just doing sit-ups all day. Like,
Just like
what
this.
is happening?
Oh dear. Brian asks, how do you make up a name like Fortuna and not assign it to an aquatic species?
It's terrible, but in a way that's very George Lucas-y.
Yeah.
I mean, if you name a guy Sleaze Bagano, that's it's a bit on the nose.
I mean, Star Wars is thoroughly has been and always will be part of the nose.
I mean, Mon Calamari and you have a squid head, like,
Yeah. And
you can even try.
a Kowakian monkey named Salacious. There's just a lot that's just like, we're gonna name this thing exactly what you think is gonna be named, and that's it. Is there anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap things up? I mean, like, any kind of like TikToks you've seen recently? I know that Choco and I, even though I haven't spoken to him about it yet, want to do a Dyad Dissects Matt Pat and his theory video.
I actually haven't seen the original video.
I haven't either.
I've only seen
I saw that segment
talking about it, but I so I already made a video on it, and it's so weird. Like me saying the Jedi are not as bad as the Sith, and those are the words that I say, and people hear it, and what they hear is the Jedi are perfect all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that organization. They're like, no, I didn't. And they're like, but the Jedi shouldn't have gotten involved in a war. I'm like, but the Sith created and perpetrated the war on both sides the entire time. So that's worse than.
See, but I also like saw some comments on your video as well with people kind of like galaxy coping with their own words. Like, they were like, yeah, I agree with you. They're not as bad as the Sith, but they're not purely good either. It's like, but what like, aside from being fallible, like, everyone's fallible, how do you make them to be not purely good? They have, pure intentions. They make mistakes. They make the wrong decisions, but they never have come from like the direction of evil. They never like, I think this time we're gonna kill someone. Like, I don't understand what they're not purely good is, And the conversation has always been, has always come up from someone, as we keep saying, that has a traumatic relationship with the Catholic Church or with religion in general, organized religion.
I was gonna say something about that. Like, I think a lot of people, I don't hear a lot of anti-Jedi rhetoric on my corner of the internet, which is really nice, but
and odd because you're Asajj Ventress.
Yeah.
But you're also working on an Avar, right?
I am kind of working on an Avar. We are crossing our fingers the headdress exists. Yes. Yeah, but like, I think a lot of it has to do with like organized religion and like especially how it comes out in our lives, because I think a lot of organized groups just in general have corruption. And so when you see it, something in very broad strokes in media, you're like, okay, well, they're fallible. Like, yes, of course, but they are fallible. They are humans and other alien species, and I don't know. I feel like you have all said this, but yeah. I mean, give the Jedi a break, I think.
We have all said this before, but it's always good to say it again because I've come to the realization that I'm going to be constantly educating people, whether it's teaching people Star Wars lore or correcting misinformation from people who think they know Star Wars lore. And it's just the reality that not everyone sees your stuff. So you're always going to have to do it again and again and again.
But your boy just got playlists, so that's gonna be
nice. What are you thinking you're gonna like categorize your playlist into? Because right now I just have Star Wars Explained.
I think I'm going to redo a lot of my earlier videos that explained things about the sequels, because I think I'm a lot better at making content now than I was then, and we can probably explain things a lot more succinctly. But I still have, because I have people almost every day who are scrolling back through my old videos and then tagging people in them, and I feel bad. I'm like, that's a lot of videos. There's hundreds of videos ago, and so I think I want to make things easier on them.
Yeah. Brian said the Jedi never sought power, which is true. They always ever just listened to the will of the Force and sought to serve it. Granted, that will was clouded at some point, which is why they fell in the first place, but
all I'm saying is that you can't say that the Jedi are as bad as the Sith if the thing you're blaming them for was orchestrated by the Sith, or they were manipulated into doing this thing by the Sith.
Yeah.
Like, intentionally. I feel like that negates the argument.
And I always like, whenever someone brings up, like, first of all, what's the provenance of Jedi kidnapping children? There's no canonical or legends basis for that.
So there is one legends basis that I know, and it's part of the Callista trilogy, which again is legends, but that's also when Luke falls in love with the computer. So you should take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a thing.
But another commenter also brought up another legends. I guess they Wikipedia'd it because they said they were taken to court for it too. And I was like, no, you didn't read this story. So in this instance, there was an earthquake and the child was orphaned, like the parents presumed dead. The Jedi took them in. Parents weren't dead, wanted them back, and they were taken to court to prove their guardianship and the legitimacy of their guardianship. It wasn't like the Jedi was like, give me your baby, and then the parents were like, no, we sue you. Like, it's not as simple as that, So there's no like flat out example or precedence for in legends or canon for this idea that came up about the Jedi kidnapping people. Just isn't there. Anything else?
No.
Hanley, you look like you have something. Don't hold back.
Oh no, I really don't. I was like, ending on kidnapping children is just absolute great last note. You know,
I'll take that one for sure. So we are just about out of time. We have been for the last half hour, but as always, the dyad sticks around for conversations as long as it takes to have them. Vanessa, we'll start with you. If you have any final thoughts and closing thoughts, remind people where they can find you, and thank you for being on Dyad in the Force.
Thank you for having me. You can find me again on TikTok and Instagram. I don't know if you want to follow my Instagram, but my TikTok, I do paintings, and it's Vanessa Skack, Vanessa SCAC. Yeah, I'm excited for these books to come, and hopefully more Lego content in the future. I really like it. Yeah.
Are you gonna finish Rising Storm?
Hopefully. I have the intention of doing it. I just have a lot going on.
Gotcha. And Haley, thank you for being on this Diet in the Force as always. Any final thoughts and closing thoughts?
Thank you for having me. This was great. Absolutely just love Terrifying Tales and the conversation. I'm on TikTok, Corellia Coffee Works, also on Instagram. And I will have I will actually have an Asajj Ventress cosplay. I've kind of just been doing makeup, so I'm very excited to complete that. Should be coming in this week or something. So yeah, I have new cosplays coming soon, which is very exciting.
Awesome. I hate to play the favoritism card, but could you tag me in that?
I got you.
Thank you. Choco, any final thoughts, closing thoughts?
Well, this week on the high ground, we have a bunch of people who are new to Star Wars, found Star Wars in the past year, like during quarantine, and it has taken over their life, and rightly so. So I think it's gonna be a fun conversation. Feel free to join us on the high ground if you want to engage in the chat. Certainly appreciate it. Closing thoughts on the episode. I am excited for these books. More books. Just all the books.
Awesome.
Give me books.
Yeah. And one final thought from me. For the people who are getting mad at the books because they forever put the kibosh on the sequels are getting decanonized narrative. I'm just kidding. All right, that's the end of Diet in the Force. But before we wrap up fully, we have to give a huge shout out and thanks to our Squadron 7 members. Starting off with St. Pat in the X-Wing, Kiosco Hecho in the TIE Whisper, Grandmaster Bale, Harith Productions, DePaul and the Super Star Destroyers, Nerd Connor, the squad leader of the U-Wing Squadron with Gray, Levi Bond in the TIE Interceptor, Masa in the Y-Wing, X-Core Gamer Skills in the A-Wing, Cal for Car2D2 in the Ghost, Brian with the Bread, Brian with the Beard, Brian with the Beard Bread, Brian with the Bread Beard in the Boba Fett Starship. I'm a master at saying that now. And Darth Choco and Arya L in the Jedi Vector. Johnsky, Julie Christine, Xanatos 1138. I still listen, Xanatos, if you're still in the chat, I'm pretty sure you've chosen one, and I apologize if I have not gotten to it yet. Please leave it. Mention me in the Discord server, the public Discord server, and I'll get to it. It keeps on passing me by for some reason. And then, of course, Star Wars Scholar, Mentally Ill Sith Lord in the TIE Defender, Star Wars Lawyer in the Lady Luck, Bedazzler in the Mantis, Podwants Podcast, Kenobi in the Jedi Starfighter 2, and Mabe in the Razor Crest. Yeah, that is the end of the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am Element 7, Lore Master to learn Star Wars faster. And that is Choco, Lore Keeper, Elegant Speaker.
I need to memorize how to say that.
But yeah, that is the end. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life,
we are all the Republic.
may the Force be with you.